Independence sounds good when people say it, but most don't realize there's math behind it. Real independence isn't just a mindset, it's numbers that make sense. You can't just think your way into freedom. You build it line by line, dollar by dollar, decision by decision. When you work for yourself, the goal isn't just to be busy, it's to stay sustainable. The people who survive in this game aren't the ones who land the biggest single job. They're the ones who understand what they need to make every month to keep the lights on, pay themselves fairly, and build margin for the slow weeks. You can't talk independence if you don't know your baseline. Your baseline is the number that covers your overhead, your fuel, tools, insurance, phone, rent, and everything it takes to stay operational. You need to know it down to the dollar because that's your foundation. Once you know what it costs to exist, then you can figure out what it takes to profit, not just survive. Too many people say they're self-employed, but never calculate the real cost of being self-sufficient. Every repair, every supply run, every hour of downtime is part of that cost. Independence is only real when you can fund it without leaning on a credit card, a favor, or a new job every other week to bail you out. Profit margins are where independence grows. If your pricing doesn't include a strong margin, you're just working harder for the same struggle. Real operators understand that margin isn't greed, it's protection. It's the buffer that allows you to fix equipment, upgrade tools, and invest in better systems without throwing your personal life into chaos every time something breaks. Let's put it simple. If you don't have margin, you don't have freedom. Margin gives you room to make calm decisions instead of desperate ones. It lets you turn down bad jobs without fear. It gives you the space to plan your next move instead of reacting to every problem that pops up. That's the math of independence. Space between what you need and what you earn. Then there's the time factor. Your time has value even when you're not welding, grinding, or cutting. Quoting, planning, scheduling, driving, cleaning, all of that is time spent keeping the business alive. If you're not calculating those hours into your pricing, you're cutting yourself short every single day. Independence means being paid for everything it takes to do the job, not just the moment you strike an arc. A lot of people think working for themselves means freedom from rules. But the truth is, independence works best with structure. You create your own systems, your quoting process, your job scheduling, your invoicing. Those systems turn chaos into rhythm. When your structure is strong, your numbers become predictable. That's how you go from hoping you'll make it this month to knowing you will. One of the hardest lessons in business is that freedom and discipline are connected. The more disciplined you are with your pricing, time, and operation, the freer you become. You can't have independence without accountability. They work together. That's what keeps you from chasing jobs out of panic or underpricing yourself just to stay busy. Self-sufficiency isn't just about income either. It's about being resourceful, knowing how to maintain your tools, understanding where to rent what you don't own, keeping relationships with suppliers, even learning how to market yourself effectively so work keeps coming in. The more parts of your business you can control, the less you depend on luck or outside help. People think independence means doing everything alone. It doesn't. It means not relying on anyone who can pull the plug on your income. You can still work with others, subcontractors, clients, partners, but you build those relationships on value and respect, not dependency. The goal isn't isolation, it's control over your outcomes. Now, none of this works if your spending doesn't match your operation. You can't buy freedom with debt. You have to build it through consistency. Before you upgrade a tool, ask, will this investment return more than it costs? Before you take a job far away, ask, will the margin survive the drive, fuel, and wear? Every decision has a number behind it. That's the difference between gambling and managing. Independence isn't being your own boss. It's being your own accountant, strategist, and operator all at once. And when you can read your numbers like a map, you'll always know where you stand. That's real freedom, not a mindset, a measurable position. The more you understand the math behind what you're doing, the less life feels like luck and the more it feels like progress. Because at the end of the day, freedom doesn't come from chance. It comes from structure, discipline, and the courage to know your worth before you start the job.